If you're in the market for a used car, you might have noticed that they're pricier and they're harder to find. Today we're joined by Consumer Reports. They compiled a best and worst used car list, and Deputy Auto Editor Jeff Bartlett's joining us this morning for used car buying tips. Jeff, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning.
So in this economy, many consumers are looking to save money on their next car by purchasing used. Is this a good idea though, or should you go new?
Well, buying a used car is a great way to save money. After all, you're buying a car that's already gone through its greatest period of depreciation, meaning someone else took that hit. But it is a little hard these days to find a nearly new car. Those are the ones that we used to think of as the most desirable. But there is some good news. Because new car sales are on the rise, we're seeing more trade-ins. So if you're willing to consider an older model, there are going to be many choices out there for you this year.
So, Jeff, take me through it. Let's say we go to a used car lot. What should I be looking for specifically?
Well, before you even get to the used car lot, you should do some research. Using your budget as a guide as well as your needs, you want to identify a handful of models that have better than average reliability and also good safety scores and perform well in our tests. So then you have some choices in your back pocket. You also want to understand what is a fair transaction price in your area, so that will empower your negotiation. The risk of just going to the lot before doing the research is you might fall in love with something that may not be the ideal candidate for a car that can last for years to come.
And that's why it's important to pick up a good publication that deals with this. So when you were doing your research, how did you come up with your list of the best and the worst used cars?
Well, to put together our list, we combine a couple sets of data. One being our test scores, how the cars performed when they were new, and then also we take a look at reliability based on the survey data collected from more than 1 million vehicles a year. Combined, we're looking at good cars that have a better probability than most of holding up over time. From this, we can really identify some smart choices.
So let's talk about some of those smart choices now, but first let's go with the luxury cars. If people are shopping for a used luxury car, what might they want to look for?
Well, if you're considering luxury, Lexus has a great reputation across the board. Almost all of their models have been performed well in our tests and really hold up. But you might also consider something like Toyota Avalon as a contrast to a pure luxury car. This is one that is very luxurious but will cost less to buy.
A lot of your research dealt with cars that were $25,000 or under, so let's talk about some of the best buys there. I know the Prius made the list.
That's right. The Prius is a smart choice, whether new or used. Despite having some real breaking through technology, it's held up remarkably well over time. It's been one of our most reliable cars for many years, so that's a safe recommendation. But if a hybrid's not for you, you can get great fuel economy from a Honda Fit, which is a bit more affordable, costing about $10,000 to $15,000 for a relatively recent one. Very versatile and very reliable.
Now, what if you have a larger family and you need to cart a lot of kids around? Let's talk sedans, SUVs. What are some of your best picks?
Well, there are good selections in all categories. For a traditional family sedan, the Toyota Camry is a real smart choice. These are readily available from the $15,000 to $20,000 price range, well equipped, very refined, quiet, and get good gas mileage. But if you need something bigger, one unsung hero you should consider is the Mazda CX-9. This is a 3-row SUV that has more agile dynamics than some of its competitors, making it a little bit more fun than you might expect.
So, Jeff, a lot of people dread used car shopping, going to the lot and buying a car. If you could give us one piece of advice when we actually hit the lot, what might that be?
Well, the key is to have the research in your back pocket and don't feel that you have to buy that same day. You want to make sure you think over the decision and ultimately have that car inspected by an independent mechanic to make sure it's as good as it looks.
Jeff, as always, great tips. Thanks so much for talking with us today.
Thank you.
And if you want more of the best and worst cars on the list, you can always head to our website, mymassappeal.com, later today for more information.